really very humbled to have the opportunity to present this in partnership with IIT Lifehacks as well as Youth Parenting, cultivating entrepreneurial and innovative mindset. I think this is what I live and breathe through Moonpreneur, my startup. So before diving in, why entrepreneurial and innovative mindset is critical, I think more important question is why now? I mean, this has been always the case. I mean, you always want to nurture the innovative and entrepreneurial mindset because it just helps in so many ways. But I think where the world is heading now, it becomes more critical, and we really need to look at the future of work and how all the dots are connected. So I was telling this maybe Alka when we were talking that this is the first time where what we are going to see. So millennials, they are hitting about 40 or little older than 40. They own barely 6 or 7% of the wealth. If you compare it with boomers, uh, when they were 40, they were holding more than 40% of the wealth. So the wealth distribution is completely gone upside down. And this is the first time where our kids might not be earning what we earn. So far, we always earn more than what our parent did. So I think a very different time is ahead. And if we don't prepare them well, I think uh, they are going to be at a big disadvantage. So when we look at the future of work, what we are seeing right now, so much going through AI, all the automation, high skill jobs from healthcare to STEM to technology, science, they all are going to uh, become more and more in demand. But at the same time, all the middle and low skill jobs, there were a lot of jobs which people thought like they are safe havens, but not anymore. I think some of those areas are most vulnerable, from food service to transportation to production work. Countries like China deployed so much robotics, they are going to have really big problem what they are going to do with the factory worker. So by 2030, we are already projecting there will be at least 1 in 16 worker need to reskill. So I think this number, which is going to happen literally in a handful of years, is very high there. These are the skill of the future. I think one key thing, active learning and learning strategies, because if you look at our parent generation, they used to have 2 to 3 average jobs. When you look at us, maybe 5, 6, maybe 8 jobs in our lifetime. But when we are thinking about our kids who are going to go in the job market, let's say 10 or 15 years down the line, we are talking anywhere from 15 to 20 jobs, multiple career, and they might be doing multiple jobs at same time. A lot of like gig worker, if you see, uh, they are not belonging to anybody. They might belong to Uber from certain time, and they might be walking a dog over the weekend. So at the same time, you might be serving multiple employer, um, and just very different world. And how to prepare our kids, giving them all these skills so they stay relevant. Institute of the Future, IFTF, with Dell, they have done a study in 2019, and what they summarize, 2030, what jobs are going to be there, 80% were not created in 2019. Sometimes it looks very surprising, but you can just see what's happening now. These jobs were literally not existing. Same thing is going to happen every 8 to 10 years now. Artificial assistants are going to be become very prevalent. I mean, we already have Chat GPT to all kind of things which are assisting now our day-to-day job. Now, human-machine partnership, that's going to like really become very strong as we move forward. This whole lifelong learning, you do not bring on a job and you provide 6 months of training. I think those times are gone. What they are saying, that more augmented reality, and as we see the new devices are coming, there will be a lot of on-the-job training, and that's how we are going to prepare the future workers. And the whole recruitment process also going to change significantly, where this will rely on AI and deep learning, who is going to do what. If you dive into the area from e-commerce to gig economy and all kind of things, so e-commerce, what we are going to see right now worldwide, it sits at $16 trillion market, will become over 70 trillion in just next 5 years, already growing over 22-23% year over year. So very high growth in all these vertical. If you see the gig and remote work, I'll just share some numbers there, and so do AI. And AI, I mean, if you see generative AI, that alone is going to produce anywhere from 2.5 to all the way $4 trillion additional annual GDP growth worldwide, where the total world GDP sits at around $100 trillion. So huge impact there. Now, these are the trends we are looking at. If you see all these marketing or market research firm, they are saying we are going to see in 10 to 15 years anywhere from 300 to 800 million job losses. I think that kind of time is coming. But if you see in the near term, we are going to see net job addition. So AI will kill 85 million jobs, but at the same time, it is going to create 97 million jobs. So we are going to see 12 million net addition. My personal view, I think human have been there. We are a smart species. We will figure out what people are going to do. There will be certain areas where UBI, the universal basic income and all that kick in, but not for our demographic, our kind of background. I think our kids are going to go in one of these vertical where they are going to stay very relevant for a long time. The other thing, what is changing, the remote work is here to stay. And you can see like about almost 30% of the employees will adopt a hybrid work model very soon. Right now, that number sits somewhere 13% work from home in US. All these numbers are US numbers. There is another thing is happening. In 2017, there was about 57 million people were doing the gig or freelancing. Some were doing full-time, some were doing part-time. But by 2027, this number is going to flip, where more people will do freelancing than full-time jobs. Our kids will go in the job market if they are, let's say, 8 or 10 after another 8 or 10 years. And the current forecast sit at 70-80%. The work will become contingent, means not full-time. I think this just throws a lot of challenges. Think about a lot of, especially if you look at the South Asian audience, many people are struggling to be relevant. I mean, they know they are very technically sound, but they might not be able to present their own ideas that well, and sometimes might struggle to get a promotion and other. Now, that is one thing, but on top of that, now you are sitting in front of a screen, you are remote. How to make yourself visible? I think these things will become more important, because if you are a gig worker, you must have a skill. And which skill? So I'll just share that. But on top of a tech skill, for example, you need to have like soft skill, entrepreneurial skill. So then you can create your visibility. This is what we are seeing. We are in industry 4.0. So if you look at the industry 1 to 2, 1780, somewhere we started industry 1.0 revolution. The first thing, the steam engine happened. Industry 2.0, electricity happened. I mean, bunch of other things happened, but those were the key driver. Industry 3.0, these were like 100 years apart. And we have seen all the Internet of the Things, IoTs. And Industry 4.0, where we are now since 2010-11, they are already talking about Industry 5 now within just 10 years, because so much changes are happening very, very fast. We are going in the hyper personalization. So this is where we sit, from AI to big data to IoTs and all kind of things. And now we are not talking about, so these skills are must have, but not a simple skill anymore. Like if you are a low level programmer, you might struggle to keep your job later. So more focus on algorithm, logic building, and other thing, how you interact with IoTs, what you can do, what you can produce, which machine may not able to do. And as I said, like if 80-85% new jobs, we do not even know how to prepare the kids. But we are able to see clearly several numbers, the remote work, the gig economy. So we have to prepare our kids for this innovative and entrepreneurial mindset. I was giving an example yesterday in a session that we see, like I have a lot of director and VP and all those friends, when they about to lose a job, they start sweating. But if you see a construction worker, for just $200-300, they might leave a job of $5,000 or $10,000, right? And they might not care there that much, and no good construction worker go hungry. What it tells, that's how they have been prepared since their childhood. That's how they have seen their dad or uncle or mom working, and that's their mindset. And they know with that kind of mindset, they will have a good living. And I think same thing we need to like inculcate in our kids, so they are relevant when this kind of job market they enter. And if you see, like if you talk to child psychologists and all that, so developing an innovative and entrepreneurial mindset, a lot of things can be done better when they are young. because 95% of our decisions are made by our subconscious mind. Rewiring those later in life require a lot more effort and self-awareness. It's not like you cannot change, but especially if you see the creative side and all that, they happen early on. Of course, when it comes to entrepreneurial gig and all that, the cost of failure at a young age are very low. You have a lot longer runway, so you can make mistakes, and right. So, really providing them an open but controlled environment, it can produce in many ways. I'll give you some ideas of what we do, but I think as a parents, giving them open but controlled environment so they can do things, they can fail, they can uh, like learn from those failure, and those are more important, especially if you see a lot of helicoptering happen, and that might not be the most healthy thing. If you also look at from the college perspective, we are seeing first time since 2016 the continuous drop in the college enrollment. The number used to sit about 70% from high school to college enrollment. In 2020, that number became 63%. We saw another 8 to 9% slashing since 2020 to 23. 23 is also going down. So I think we are going to see a very different time when it comes to our high schooler going to the college. May not be again relevant to certain communities, but 14 to 18-year-old who make the decision whether they are going to go college or not. Uh, Pre-pandemic, it was sitting somewhere at 60%. They want to go to college. Right now, that sits at 45%. So our kids are not seeing that much value in the college. But if you look at the number, the graduates make about 70% more earning than the high schooler. So if this whole thing is going to flip, how we are giving them the right ammunition, so they have the right skills, so they can like stay as good as their other peer who might have a graduate degree, because in next 10 to 15 years a lot of this is going to change. When we see all these things, one question really comes, that we all are overwhelmed, right? We, especially as a parents, we ourselves are struggling to stay relevant right now when the AI is changing, our jobs are getting impacted and all kind of things. How to prepare kids? I think this is there was a big experiment done by Professor Kurt Richard in 1950s. That's called the Hope experiment. Um, and I think this is applicable to all the species. I'll also give you an example for human. What he did, you see these kind of jars. So he put a like a species of rat, exactly same, and put in a jar like this. And in about 15 to 20 minutes, every mouse was dead. Then next time he did exact same experiment, took the next set of exact same breed mouse, and when they were about to drown, he picked them up, comforted them in a towel, put it back in the jar. Kept doing these exercise again and again and again. After doing like a series of such exercises over next few weeks or so, their stamina was so high, most of the mouse were surviving 8 to 10 hours before they were dead in 15 to 20 minutes. Some mouse survive 50 to 60 hours, right? So I think that hope that, okay, you might not drown, something will save you as long as you hold on yourself. I think that hope we need to give to our kids. And it's not easy, but I think that hope is very important. As long as there is hope, I think they will figure out their path. And look at one example, what we have seen, like this is histogram of success of climbing Mount Everest. There is a recorded history, 20, 30 years before also. A lot of people tried, there was a lot of casualties, all kind of things. In 1953, we had the first success with Sir Edmund and Norgay, right? And then we didn't see much happen after that. But if you see, I mean, there was an avalanche, but if you see now the success, we are talking about 80% success rate or more. If you see here, a number of attempts and number of summits, that pretty much 80 to 90%. Now, what is happening? Of course, there are better gears and preparation, but now you have a belief that out of 10, if I try, my chances of summiting is almost 80 or 90%. That gives you a different level of drive versus if you are the same person, if I tell your chance of reaching there is only 1 in 100 or 1 in 10, right? You will have a whole different mindset. So as long as we can give this kind of mindset to our kids, I think they will do well. And these are some of the responsibility we need to carry now. I'll give you an example how we do it. So, I mean, it's just like methodologies. So this is the whole company started in my own place. This is what had happened in my house. So you are going to see my kids. Let me play like a few seconds of this, so you will able to see where all these dots got connected and where we are right now.
What are you doing?
I'm drinking from a plastic water bottle. Duh, what's wrong with this?
Exactly, a plastic water bottle. Do you know how unhealthy that is for you?
No.
Use this instead, it's so much better.
Well, it's so ugly and
Well, yeah, it might be ugly, but it's still so much healthier. You know, copper can help improve your immune and digestive system, and it can also kill harmful bacteria.
Well, it is kind of useful, but it's so heavy for my backpack.
Wait, that gives me an idea. I guess Soham was right. The bottles do look really ugly. But how do I fix that? Because these bottles are so healthy and I really want him to drink from them. The big thing is an easy fix. All I have to do is make them smaller so they're less heavy. But I really want to make them more visually.
Right. So I think what you are seeing here, now she's 17. At that time she was 14. My son was, she just wanted to transform this bottle into something like this. I mean, if you see my background, I understood, like I come from e-com background and all kind of things. And I said like, sure, let's do it. And I thought like this might be 30, 40 hours of effort. When I started helping them, it became 500, 600 hours of effort, because you really do not know where to start. There was no infrastructure. And I mean, this is what happened to all of us as parents. We do not have 500 hours. That's where the fatigue kick in. When this kind of situation happens, most of us give up, right? A lot of my friends, they try to build something or teach something to their kids. And at some point of time, they realize that there is no way they can get this time. What happened, and this is really a problem we try to solve. If you are working in Facebook and Google, you are the role model for your kids. And when they learn that this might be so hard that my dad or my mom gave up, this gives a very negative message to them. So I was determined. We kept doing this, and she launched her creation on Kickstarter, raised some capital, got some backing. We went all the way, and she sold many of them on about 250 on Amazon. But then once that kind of mindset was there, she kept building more things. So she built Sanya Box, embedded computer. This raised over $8,500 on Kickstarter. This also sold over 100 copies in $129 each. And pretty much every child can do things like this as long as we can provide them that guidance. And my son, who has no interest, but then all of a sudden he started realizing that my sister is getting rich because everybody talking about her and so on. And then he said like, Dad, I want to do something. And at that time he was very young, but there was so much zeal in him that I really want to do something. I want to be like my sister. And I helped him. He created something, sold on Amazon and all kind of things. But this gave them very, very practical knowledge. And once we saw like all these dots are connecting, they can inspire each other. What is really happening? I don't think we are able to inspire our kids beyond a point. I think giving them the right company where the other kids, they are hearing their story and they have their company. That's where a lot of inspiration happens. So I'd like to play this for a few seconds, and then I'll go in detail how we do it and what happened and how you can replicate things at your own home or maybe take help.
Hi, I'm Sonia, and I'm from California, USA. After completion of the course, I created it.
Hello, my name is Rishabh Jain. My actual project. My project is used for car safety.
Hi, my name is Sambi Ronka. I'm 14 and I live in California, United States. I am the creator of the Fantastic Box. Not only that, but the program also groomed me and built my confidence for public speeches, TEDx, where I shared my thoughts about the future.
I am Sanvi Matri, and I wanted to make a product that would be able to take the energy that is made while you walk and be able to do something like charge your phone or another device.
Hello, my name is Siddhi Jain. I have created a multicolored wireless phone.
My name is Anita Gautam. I designed and created this camera add-on module with Moonshot Jr.
Hi, I'm Rajika Thorat. I'm 13 and I'm with Moonshot Junior to show you a fun and innovative project. As you can see, as I move my hand towards the sensor, it glows green and the motor moves. Try it out for yourself. Have fun.
Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make 8 LEDs light up in an LED board one after another.
Hi, my name is Rin Chichuri. This is kind of where I came up with the idea for Ghost Clear. With Moonshot's help in these areas, I was able to finalize my idea and bring my product to life.
Hello, my name is Persh Roy. I'm 14 years old. So this is my anti-theft system, as you can see. And if I close it, it will stop.
Hi, my name is...
So there are literally hundreds of stories. If you go to our website, you can see what really happened here. When you give them more hands-on learning, they can do wonders. And I'll tell you.
Hi, I'm Sanya, and I'm from
You will see an example here. You saw Soham. At that time, he was really only 8.5 when all this was happening in my house. And I helped him creating this thing. And it was all practical, right? So when you are giving that kind of knowledge, I think the engagement level is very, very high. It's not like they do not listen or anything. You can just see this conversation when I recorded this. And I'll take a quick pause and I'll tell you what really happening here.
Hey, so do you want to go swimming?
Well, give me 10 minutes.
Oh, why? What are you doing?
Well, I'm right now making the boxes ready for them for shipping.
Didn't you just do that last week? Why are you
Yeah,
doing
but
it again?
then, well, they're all sold out.
They're all sold out? Seriously?
Yeah.
How much are you selling these for?
About $25.
$25? Wow, you must be making a lot of money then.
Well, it's really not what you think. It's about $5, but that's okay.
Whoa, $5? Then where does the rest of the money go?
Well, $10 goes for making the box itself, and the other $5 is for shipping them, and the other $5 is for Amazon free.
Oh, okay. So what's the $5 you made in the end called?
Well, that's called profit.
Oh, okay. Then what about the $25 you made initially?
Well, that's really revenue.
Oh, that explains it. Revenue. Okay. And then what about all the $10 you took to put it in the boxes?
That's called cost of goods sold.
Oh, so how many boxes did you sell today?
Well, let me search it up on Amazon Seller Central. I sold actually 3 boxes today.
3 boxes? Oh my god. Does that mean you made $75 revenue?
Well, not what you think.
Oh, okay.
So there's a thing called deferred revenue. So let me show you. If 3 people get my box, but if somebody returns it back, then you gotta give back the money they returned.
Oh, so that instead of $75 revenue, you would have $50 revenue.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the deferred revenue, I might have learned this thing in my 30s. You bring any 8 or 9-year-old child, I can teach that concept in just 5 minutes. It's very simple, right? If you are selling this box on Amazon in $25 and you sold 4, now you have $100 revenue. But Amazon give you 30-day return policy. Every kid knows this, right? And then all of a sudden, 2 people return, then now your revenue is 50. What was the first 100 and what is 50? So first 100 was deferred revenue. After 30 days, when the return window is over, will become realized revenue. As long as you can give them something practical, they will able to understand and they don't need to memorize. Now this is lifelong learning for them. I'll tell you what is working here, and then whatever learning you can see, if you can replicate at home or take help, institution or a company who can do it. So a couple of things, and then I'll go and tell you what is working, how we teach, and then maybe see if you can replicate some of that. So where we are heading, I mean, we are seeing a greatest skills shortage. If you see all the surveys from the countries, by 2030, they are already saying there are going to be at least 85 million vacancies which cannot be filled because the people will not that have a skill set. Big transformation happening there, especially from our kids' perspective. Soft skills and emotional intelligence, everybody talk about this. There are big data already published that very soon in next 10 years, more than 70 to 80% of the jobs will require soft skills. So how we do it and what is working and where we have been successful, and we can just discuss if you want to do it at home or at school, how you replicate this. So at Moonpreneur, we have 2 tracks and they go kind of simultaneously. On one track, we are teaching tech, let's say robotics. So we ship out these learning kits. This provide the hands-on learning. So you have seen a lot of example of our kids who are using these gears and trying to create something, and they can create a small module here, and this is all instructor led. So the instructor makes sure all the kids are moving forward, and these are done in a batches. So we provide them that environment. I don't think the teacher can inspire them, because these kids, I mean, they are so fragile. You inspire them today and they will be, inspiration is gone after an hour. You need to keep inspiring them every day. And our teacher able to do only so much, I'll say maybe 20%, 30%. The rest of the inspiration happen with other kids who are part of that cohort, who are learning with each other. When those two kids start asking a smart question, then every child want to be like them. So this is how we provide the experiential learning. Then towards the end of the program, they receive another kit, and every child able to create a prototype. These are real working prototype. So that's on the technical side, where we are trying to give from programming to electronics, circuit, sensors, especially under a robotics program. But simultaneously, we are giving education on the soft skill and entrepreneurial skill. So from graphics design to video creation to financial literacy, everything is outcome focused. So when we are giving, let's say these are month-long module, and they might have 4 or 5 sessions of graphics design, we want to make sure in the end of that month, the child able to create something, child able to create a video. And when they are creating a video, we also help them launch these things. What message they get, that it's not like as soon as you launch a video, you will have millions of views. Getting first 100 view is super hard. And all these learning give them real world, some touch point that, I mean, you can be a YouTuber, but the chances of succeeding and becoming a successful YouTuber is 1 in 100,000 or 1 in million. That practical knowledge start giving them understanding that, okay, this is not going to work, this is not going to work, but we do not let them fail. We give them controlled environment, so they learn the lesson, but we kind of bring them out when they are about to drown and give them comfort and put it back in that same glass. That's the strategy, that's the teaching we give. Towards the end of last 6 months, these kids work in a group. They get their idea in a pitch format using design thinking. Here, we restrict them to a real working prototype. Here, we leave them to their imagination. This is like really on paper, a prototype, where they might be sending a rover or Mars, which does XYZ, and then create like a business plan, the financial model and all kind of things, whatever best they can think. And I'll give you 1 or 2 examples, and then they present that to a jury. So this whole education goes for a year, and it's all progressive. And I mean, if you look at the college admission perspective and all that, we work with many counselors, and they are saying when this kind of education is there, it really create a very strong profile where you can literally start pushing yourself that you are CEO of your own company, you try to build this idea, you got this prototype, this is how you learn the go-to-market. And let me give you 2 examples. So this is all progressive, right? What 7 to 8 year will do versus 9 to 10 and so on. But here is like learning kit. This goes in, let's say tier 2 or tier 3, whatever, where we are going to give you a skeleton, but then there are a lot of sensors. You can build this car in multiple ways. So first, why you build this car, right? We do not say, let me teach you programming. You cannot hold that child who might be only 9 or 10 or 11 attention for more than few months. You cannot just say like, okay, let me teach you Java, and the child is fired to learn Java for next 3 years. They need to have a mission. The mission could be very simple, that you are designing a car where it can bring breakfast from your kitchen to your room, avoiding all the obstacles. Now the child is fired because now they see a practical need which can make their life better. And now the child can do programming for a year or 2 years, because now it's no longer learning programming. It's really accomplishing that mission. And every child can come out with something very unique, though these are very controlled. I mean, it's not like you can do 1,000 different things, but you can do things differently. I mean, you can use ultrasonic sensors, you can use IR sensors, you can use tilt sensors, you can use different motors, you can use many things just to achieve the same thing. So even if 200 kids build this, not 2 cars are going to look exactly same. They will always have something different. But now this is mission based, and how they approach it, it just, these kind of things start creating that innovative mindset, right? And let me also give you another example. We call it a moon battle, where, so that was like really a working prototype. They have to make it work. Simultaneously, now they are going to work in a team and they are going to produce a draft prototype of their XYZ idea. Let me play a few seconds of this so then you can see. And then everything is done by a child. They will create the video, they will create, because we taught them. And if you are teaching them video creation or graphic design, they might or might not learn. But if you give them a mission that, okay, you need to pitch to investor because you are going to create a product, and to give it a pitch, you need to create a video because that's how their investor are going to see, and graphics and whatever, then the child is learning, because now they are not learning graphic design for the sake of learning. Everything is done for a purpose. Let me play a few seconds of this.
Battle. Empower the Planet competition. Hi, my name is Sanvi Sawari, and I'm the Dishwasher Baby Company's CEO. The problem our company is trying to solve is the limited availability of dishwashers outside of houses, which leads to environmental damage. When on the go, many families have...
One question I have, so you are assuming 10% of the people will move from traditional dishwasher to new one. Do you think your mom and dad will move your dishwasher to your baby one or no? And if yes, why?
So they can own a built-in dishwasher in their house and own a separate portable dishwasher for trips or outdoor activities. And I think my parents would like a portable dishwasher because we like to do camping and outdoor activities a lot, and we have picnics and we use.
Right. So I'll take a quick pause here. Now, both on the technical side as well as on this moon battle, you see these kids. Many of them are not even 10, right? But they start thinking that way. After 6 months or 8 months of this kind of education, their mind and thought process start changing significantly. And I mean, once they are empowered that they can deliver, they can do it. And when they start talking these things, when we teach them in home or in school, all of a sudden go to market and they will start talking deferred revenue, or they start talking. I mean, the teacher gets surprised. Oh my God, you know this. And they start getting like appreciation, their parents, their dad or something, because this is a very different conversation than talking about a math problem. This start opening up their mind. What we are also learning, a lot of kids, when we are teaching this way, their regular grade is improving, and we are not teaching any part of the curriculum because now their mind is open. Now they know, or at least now they have interest why they are learning something. I mean, if I recall 25 years ago when I took some courses, even today I do not know the answer why did I do that, but there were courses where there was some practical lab or something involved, and I still have recall value. I still remember some of that. So I think this is what we are trying to replicate. I think it's very hard for us to inspire our kids. They get inspired when the other kids start doing something which they feel that I am like, or I want to be like that child, right? And they pick up very fast. I mean, this guy you might think super smart, and this girl might be very shy on day one. Within 6 months, they catch up like anything. I mean, as long as we provide that environment, that's very important. So I'll tell you today, I mean, you saw my son, right? And this kind of their sense of humor is becoming after all this. Tell him something and he was not listening. And I said like, some people are willing to give me hundreds of dollars for my time, and it is available for free for you, and you don't want to pay attention. He said like, Dad, I think they all got scammed. So what I'm saying, a 10, 11-year-old child can have that kind of thinking, right? Sense of humor, all that. They start thinking differently. Yeah, so I think I got a lot of these examples. I mean, you can go to our website and you will find hundreds of them. And I think what we are seeing, when you put any child in this kind of setting, very soon they catch up and they make themselves relevant. They start striving for their space and all that. Let me play a few seconds of this one also. But I think, as I said, like this we have replicated hundreds and hundred times. Every time it works.
The 20.3 million U.S. pet birds in those households, and the 12.82 million people in the U.S. pursue bird watching as a hobby and passion as of 2019.
It was $15, includes the sustainable packaging as well.
Under raw materials, as we use raw material as in our raw materials, the sustainable.
Right, so I'll stop here, and I think happy to go back to any slide if you guys want to spend more time. Just wanted to give you like overall methodology, what we do and how we do it. So at our end, we got several thousand students here. We have several thousand students in India as well. That's in partnership with many IIT and IIMs. That's more for the college students. We are doing boot camp to get the intake in the incubation centers there. And here it's all early, so 7 year to 16 year. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.